Hello, this is my review of the Hornby-Dublo train. It is R1252 and it's the LNER, the Nigel Gresley train set, the Century Year Limited Edition. As you can see, it's got the old fashioned design. It's got the old 1950s little boy there. It's manufactured by Hornby's Limited in Margate. Let's just take a look around. As you can see, it's got the centenary sign on the bottom there, and on the back, and on the back as well, and on the bottom there's not much, just some info, and again it's got the centenary logo there. Not much really to say about it, but let's open it up and see what we've got inside. Before I open it up, I want to tell you, if you go to the Hornby website, it is $249.99, but I actually got it from my local model shop, WD Models in Chesterfield, and I actually got it cheaper from him. It was actually £230, so I managed to save myself £19.99. That's nearly £20 saving. Now let's open it up and see what we've got inside. Well, inside the lid, I've just noticed we've got some information. I'll read some of it. It says, by the 1930s, Frank Hornby O-gauge train system had grown considerably, both in the large number of items available and in popularity, but new houses were by that time being built smaller than they had been previously, and consequently limited the space available for, amongst other things, the O-gauge train layout. Consequently, and such restrictions on space had an influence on the sale of Hornby's O-gauge trains. In mainland Europe, a smaller gauge was being developed, which was half the size of O. The new scale was partly classified as HO, as it was half the size of O gauge models. Faced with this potential competition, the Meccano board in 1937 decided to introduce their own system, but due to scale versions mechanism size restricted, they could not quite produce the HO system, but opted for a slightly larger scale, which was given the name 00 by the Meccano's commercial director. The Hornby-Dublo scale used more or less the same wheel back-to-back measurements for the HO system, but generally speaking, of all other dimensions were increased by 0.5 millimeters. So that's a bit about it. So let's see what we've got in the box then. Very nice box this is. I like the colouring and the graphics in it. So this is interesting. I think Hornby have stopped doing the polystyrene packaging. They've started to opt for this cardboard packaging, as you can see. But what's interesting is, with the Loco and the Teak Carriages, they've gone for the blister ice box. I know they want to protect them, but I don't know, maybe they could have still used cardboard somehow. I don't know. There's still plastic, and they've still got plastic wrapped in the controller. So I mean, they've done good reducing the packaging with the cardboard. So what shall we go for first? Let's just get the easy stuff out of the way, I suppose. We've got your usual, that's called the power track, and also you've got a small straight on top. That's where you connect the power. You've got your, some people call this a rerailer, some others call it just a railer. It's just so it makes it easier to put the train on the track. I'll show you soon. You've got your controller there. I'll show you that. I've got the same controller on my test track. You've also got 8 curves. I think that's a third radius, if I remember correctly. You've got your power adapter there, the wire going from the power adapter to the controller. You've got your spare bags, your spare bits, shall I say. You can see there's a spare wheel there and a few other bits and pieces, and there's some instructions in there to show you where they go. So that's all about four little bits in there. See, there's one there, little hooks. And let's take a look. It says trap mat, just says trap mat located under the pulp tray. Oh, they call it pulp tray, I've got it cardboard pulp. Tomato. Let's carefully lift this out. You've got your trap mat I won't get the track mat out because it is quite big. Here's a picture of the track mat. So that's what the track mat looks like. It's all pretty standard. I think most of this stuff we've seen already. Building your world. You've got the track geometry, showing you all the track bits you can get, and then building your accessory pack, all the stations and sheds you can get. Hornby Scaledale, all like the more of the buildings like off license, high broom platform building, Hornby accessories, point motor housing, turntable, coloured light. With this set you get the yesteryear Hornby certificate of authenticity. I'll quickly read some of it, which says, in 1938 the first adverts started to appear promoting the new Hornby-Dublo train system. 2 locomotives were initially produced, one of which was a generic 0623 freight model and available with GWR, LNER, LMS or SR markings, while the others featured the LNER Class A4 livery, so Nigel Gresley locomotive. These 2 locomotives were available with either clockwork mechanism or a 12-volt DC motor, and both featured individually trained sets where they shared a common pack. If you want to read the rest you can pause it, but this at the bottom it does say this model is one of a limited run of 1000. So this set they produced 1000, and this is number 0175. This is what else you've got: your Class A4 steam locomotive and tender operating maintenance instructions. I think we've all seen this like a zillion times. Just show you how you can oil it, where to put the chip. Oh, you can actually take tells you on the bottom there, coal removal and placement. So you can actually take out the coal and you can put your brake rods in. That's the train controller. I'll show you again, which I told you I'll show you a bit in a minute. Shows you how to fix it. Pretty simple stuff. In like 10 million different languages. I'll just quickly show you this controller. You've got your speed, and you can see that little red light goes on. And the more you turn it that way, the faster it goes, or slower. That's to change your directions backwards or forwards, and you can't change direction. It won't allow you to change direction while this train is going. It's locked now. The direction switch is now locked. I need to unlock it, completely turn it off, and then now you can. And then what makes this different to the old Hornby basic controller, on the back, see, this is where you can unplug it. See, that's where you unplug it. And then you've also got a high-low switch on the back, and then you've got an uncontrolled. That's for plugging in things like signals, points, turntables, and lights, and any other things which you might want to plug into, get some electricity from. So that's basically that, really. So this bit, these 2, high-low switch and this uncontrolled, what makes it different from the older basic controller. And also the see, that's the old one. See, the red light goes on, and again you can't change directions when the red light goes on. You just turn it off, and then you just see, you just plug it in on the back there. There's no high-low switch on this one, and you can't plug anything into it. That's the difference between that one and the newer station. Now you can join the collectors club, or the warranty. I need to fill that in and send that off as well. And then you've got the owner's manual, folds out, and then baseball construction, better points, uncoupling ramps, locomotive and operating maintenance. I've shown you everything else in the box, and lastly to go is the Loco and the 2 Teak Carriages. Fairly heavy. Very springy, this packaging. Now this is Sir Nigel Gresley. I've got the mallard, exactly the same, apart from the mallard they've painted the wheels and all the other metal bits gold, and this hasn't. You can see it's all been painted inside, so very good detail there. Something's just fallen off, but it's nothing, it's a bit of packaging not to worry about. As I said, it's very well painted inside the cab. Buffers are spring loaded. Handrails are actually sticking out. Can I see any glue marks? It's got the builder's plate there. These are the other Teak coaches. As you can see, they're slightly browner, and we have something on top. It has an alternative coupling. It says for close coupling between coaches if preferred. First time I think I've had a carriage which had spares for it. I think. I'll just open up one because they're both the same really. Number might be a bit different. It's not as heavy as a Loco. I've even got coloured seats in it. Maybe I should do that on the close-up. Don't know if you can actually, how well you can see that. I think you can just see blue. Very difficult to bring that on the camera. Anyway, that's the carriage. Just note something else. Don't know if you can see it in the window. Just there. It seems to have a little circle. I'm not sure what that circle is. Oh, also I've noticed it got a little blue label, little sign on the side there. Maybe it says smoking. I'm not too sure. Says guard on the van on the door there, and there's a door on the back there, so you can go from one carriage to another. Very good detail. Go around the corners quite easily. Got metal wheels. Take a quick look at this one. Again, it's got alternative coupling. Now this is all third class, this one. Carriage number 1434. Both these carriages got a corridor down on one side. Let's put this on my test track and see how we go. This is what the railer is for. You just put it flat on the track, and then you just simply, it makes it easier to put the locos on. And it puts it straight onto the track. And you can just push it. And you can just put it away. You can see it just says Sir Nigel Gresley there. You can take the coal out as it says instructions. As you can see, it's got the little secret door, so the driver can walk through the tender to the carriages, so you can maybe get something to eat, so the train doesn't have to stop. And again, it's got spring loaded buffers on the back as well as the front. This one doesn't come with a driver. Sometimes they apply them with a driver and a man with a shovel, but this one hasn't. You have to be careful of these little doors. I think they're kind of little doors here. They break off very easily. And there's a bit of but there's actually a little step, because they have to be careful of. The handrail on there, so very careful of that. The wheels are red on this one, got a bit of an orangey red. And on top you can just see the valves top, and then I think that's the whistle on the front. And this has only got one chimney on it. Sometimes they may have a double-breasted chimney. This has a tender pickup as well, which is really good. So not only does it have pickups on the Loco itself, but on the tender as well. That's another good used for the derailleur. You can find out got tender pickup or not. Because you can see, did you see that? Because the Loco is now no longer touching the rails, it's actually touching the plastic derailleur or the railer. I'll push it back a bit. Did you see that? So that's proof it has got pickups on the tender. So let's just give it. Also want to point out it has got, well, it hasn't, but it has got, the windows have been got plastic glass in it. The one back one here hasn't, but the ones like on the front and this one has. So that's so kind of like only half done the job, if you like. You can just about see there is actually a little hook there, and there is a tiny little chain just there. Just about to see the name. So Nigel Gresley. The number on this one is 4498LNER, which is of course London Northern Eastern Railway. Let's go and take a look at the Teak Carriages. Now there's two types of Teak Carriages you can get. There's this one here. As you can see, there is I've actually taken it apart and put a couple of people in it. See that woman just standing there, and there's a man just standing in, well, nearly in front of that door, just there. See it better now. See that little man just by the door there. So this is one type of Teak carriage you can get. This one has got third class right next to first class. See three there, which I presume which means third class, and then got number one there, which I presume that's first class. And the number of those carriages 4237. So this is one type of Teak carriage you can get. You can see it's quite a light brown, like a grey brown, would you say? Talking about Teak carriage, let's get the other two Teak carriages out. Put these carriages on now. That's the one of the guard. This is the next one is the third class carriage. And just for comparison, that one, other one that I showed you earlier, you can actually tell the colour difference. This one's more of a browny brown, that's more like a grey brown. Okay, so that seemed to work quite well. Okay, I've given you one difference between the two carriages, and that's the colour. I'll show you, see if you can spot anything else. Can't really see. I'll do a few close-ups so you can actually see the difference between them. just to let you know, I've got a bit of a paradox world going on here. Because on the outer line there, that's the Sir Nigel Gresley. On the next, well, the third line in is the mallard. Over there, you can see another mallard. On the second, just there, the only difference between that mallard and that mallard is that that's a working model and that's a static model, which I got quite a few years ago from a magazine called the Great British Locomotive Collection. So it's just there for looks really. You may have noticed there's a different coach on the Sir Nigel Gresley. That coach belongs to James the Red Engine. On the outside you've got Sir Nigel Gresley. Next circuit in you've got the Flying Scotsman, and then on the third one in you've got the Mallard. I've got nothing on the smaller circuit because I've got nothing else which was built by Sir Nigel Gresley, I don't think. That's why it's empty. Thanks for watching. And the flying Scotsman's got stuck. Oop. Right, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed your little one day. With the Hornby-Dublo, Sir Nigel Gresley, going back in time. Thank you for watching. Bye.